In this video, we're going to be talking about the most important thing that you should think about every single day. This is critical if you want to have success, if you want to reach your goals in life. I'm John from BulldogMindset.com. On this channel, we talk about getting the Bulldog Mindset, which is mental toughness, stoic philosophy, everything that you need to become a better, stronger version of yourself. Today, we're going to be continuing a series I started on the principles that I live by. How you live one day is how you live every day. Now, this is a principle that I subscribe to in my life and is one of the guiding factors of my life. This is something you should think about every single day when you wake up. Is you should have the thought in your head before you procrastinate, before you decide not to go to the gym, before you decide to not give your all. How you live one day is how you live every day. Now, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why this is true and 3 things to consider why this is so effective as a principle in your life. And so the first one here is momentum. Now, why momentum? When you've started doing something and you're going some direction, it's more likely you're going to continue in that direction. Maybe you've heard that if you miss going to the gym one time, you're more likely the next day to miss going to the gym. And if you miss twice, well, you're basically screwed because you're even more likely. Momentum works both in the positive direction and the negative direction. Just as a concept, this idea of momentum, this is why it's so critical to understand that how you live one day is how you live every day, okay? Because if you make a bad choice, the chances that you're going to make that same bad choice the next day increase. If you make good choices, the chances increase over time, okay? Now, it still takes willpower, it still takes discipline, especially to make good choices, but the bad choices, it doesn't take much. It only takes a little bit to derail you. And believe me, I have had this happen to me many times, and I still have it happen to me, right? Many times I will be on a good track, and then I will mess up. Like a lot of times on diet, I'll eat some junk, and then the next day I'll eat junk, and then pretty soon it's a week later, and I'm having to retrace my steps and get back on track. If you make those choices today, you're going to make those same choices tomorrow, most likely, and momentum will help you to make those choices. The second one is one that you're already familiar with, right? It's habit. Very related here. There's a really good book by James Clear called Atomic Habits. Habit is critical, okay? Why? Because, you've heard of that Seinfeld, the calendar thing, that don't break the chain, where it's like, you keep track of how many days you did something, and then you're trying not to break the chain. Most of what we do is sort of on autopilot. The things that we do, the way that we live our lives, we can't consciously make every single choice and think about those things. A lot of your behavior, if you just go to tie your shoe, right, you're gonna do it out of habit, the same way you've done it. You're not really gonna think about that. Even just going and brushing your teeth, right? If you're someone who doesn't brush your teeth every night, it's because you don't have that habit. If you can't consistently make the choice to do the thing that you want to do, you're gonna fight it all the time. Right? And so if you constantly make choices and you say, all right, well, today I'm going to make an exception and I'm not going to run because I'm extra tired. Or today I'm not going to work as hard, right? I'm not going to do whatever I'm supposed to do. And you think it's a one-time exception. Or, my coworker's birthday, today I'm going to have cake. What's going to happen is it's going to disrupt that habit formation, or it will start a bad habit formation, which is even worse. So you want to keep on going and you want to develop these habits, right? Because if you keep on doing it, you will eventually develop a habit and it will become automatic. That's how a lot of some of the hard things I do in my life become somewhat automatic, is because I know that I need to do them every single day and that I need to live my life consistently, because I know that because of habit, I'm going to make the same choices tomorrow that I'm making today. And if I want to make those choices easier tomorrow, I need to make them today. I need to not put it off and not say, well, next week I'll do things right. It needs to be right now, because every single day counts. And the third one is actually the one here that should concern you the most. Randomness. We could also call this self-sovereignty. That is not the right way to spell sovereignty. I'm missing a lot of stuff in here. Most of what we do in life, most of the decisions we make, the opportunities that we see, and the way that we live our lives are random. You can think of it as creativity, the randomness, the chaos of the universe. But when ideas come into our head, they come in randomly, and we only have so many opportunities in life to capture what we actually want and to live our best lives. Because most of the time we're running on autopilot, we're asleep, we're not conscious, we're unconscious in our thinking and our doing, right? It's a lot of it is just running from habit, it's running from momentum and the randomness that happens in our head. You have you here, okay? And what determines what you do? Well, it's a combination of things. It's a bunch of inputs that come in here, which is one input is the momentum. How you live one day is how you live every day. Another input is habits. Okay, again, this is more of your long-term programming, right? Of how things have happened in the past, right? We could say your life experience is part of this, okay? But what determines this, your life experience is gonna come from what you do, right? So that's gonna kind of feed back into this. So we've got this feedback loop. And then the other one is just this random element here. It's random thoughts that pop in your head. It's random interactions that happen. Okay, so when you think about having control over your life, okay, you don't have a lot of control, since a lot of this is dictated by this randomness element. When you have good ideas, when you want to change something in your life. But what you have to do is you have to get momentum and habit working for you. So you've got to figure out some way to capture this so that you can change this feedback loop. Otherwise, you'll have this thought, okay, and maybe for one day you'll do a diet, and then the next day you won't, okay, and so you don't have a habit and you don't have momentum, and then you're just relying on randomness. Hopefully, maybe someday in the future you'll think, I need to lose weight again, and we go through this cycle, okay? But instead, if you have the principle of how you live one day is how you live every day, you're going to live that current day to the best of your ability based on what you want, right? You want to lose this weight. And so you're going to do the things that you need to do, and then you're going to live the next day that way, right? Because that's what you want to change in your life, and you want to start living that kind of life, right? So again, that's the way to think about things. It's basically an echo through time, okay? So whatever you decide that you're going to do in life, all right, and you decide what you're going to do for that day, and you repeat that, and that compounding effect is what the result of the function of your life is. You can't control things except for a very small portion of time when you have the consciousness to be able to control things. And so you need to be really, really careful about that, and you can't let things slip. Because if you let habit and momentum work against you, okay, then you're going to be relying on randomness to get you back on track. Instead, when you're on track, you need to stay on track. Once you come off that track, the only way you're getting back on track is when that random thought pops in your head and you're like, oh, I need to improve myself. Oh, I should start doing this thing. And that's not a good way to live your life. When you have the things figured out that you want to do, the goals that you want to accomplish, you need to have some kind of reinforcing habit. You need to daily do those things so that you stay on that track and you actually have sovereignty, self-sovereignty over your life and go the directions that you want. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.